Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In this one, I wanted to talk about why running an agency or becoming a social media marketer, digital marketer, whatever you want to call it, is inarguably, in my opinion, one of the best opportunities in the market. Not just, currently, not just compared to all these other popular online business models, but literally known to man, because I really do think that if you can either start and grow a business using the things you're learning or help other businesses grow using the things you're learning, you become just a walking asset. And frankly, it's going to be pretty hard for you to be broke. Like, you're going to have a skill that will always be needed, always. Because in order to be a good social media marketing agency owner, you're not just a Facebook ads expert. If you go back to my previous video, I talk about what's the disparity between the most successful and the least successful agency owners, because really 80% of agency owners aren't that successful. There's only really 20% that are actually really successful, and they are just light years ahead of that 80%. Why is that, and what is that disparity? One of the main things I talk about is a holistic understanding of the industry in which they serve. Which means they understand the ins, the outs, they understand the influence of the industry, they understand the typical bottlenecks of the companies, the desires of the companies and the businesses that they're working with. And then they apply marketing to that once they have that holistic understanding, and then they become a super valuable asset for that industry. So why I think running an agency is the most exciting opportunity that I've ever seen, and why I shifted. Because if you followed me for a while, I was a graphic designer, wedding photographer, very artsy, and I'm still kind of artsy. You still get some cool aesthetic vibes from me. I used to be a wedding photographer. I actually made probably $4 or $5 grand a month as a wedding photographer when I was 17. I went through a house fire, lost all of my gear. And because I had actually dropped out of high school, I didn't have a GED, had nothing, I had to figure something out really quickly, otherwise I'd be broke. And though I did eventually get insurance money back for all my lost gear, it took about a year, okay? And so it was a while before I got that money back, and so I was pretty much broke, couldn't serve anybody, couldn't find a job, nothing, and so I had to figure something out. And that's when I went digital. And actually, this right here is the first sale I made of a digital product, which was actually if you're a photographer as well, you maybe have heard of Lightroom, which is a photo editing application. And I sold Lightroom presets. So actually I sold preset editing settings, which sounds like a super niche market, and it is, but I actually made a decent amount of money there. I probably made $300 a week. That's when I realized I can go fully digital. And then I go down that route, and I begin to start teaching people how to use digital marketing services to grow their own business, how to sell digital products, and I just went on all these sorts of rabbit trails until eventually I discovered the social media marketing agency model, where I realized, wow, I could actually take what I know about digital marketing, deliver it to clients as a service, and then just have them either on a monthly retainer or have them pay me up front for services. And that's a beautiful model to me, and I want to go down that route completely. That's what's brought me here today. That's what's built my business to the multiple 5-figure monthly range that it is. I want to, in 2020, grow it to a 7-figure business. We'll see if it happens. I'm pretty sure it will. At the trajectory we're going, I bet you it will happen. And the reason I just told my story, the reason I want you to know, is because it's important for context and why I'm doing what I'm doing. Because I don't want you to feel like I'm just biased towards social media marketing agency as a model because I have a course and coaching services, and I just want to sell you on the model so that you come and buy my crap. Right? There's definitely an element of that. I want you to see how valuable this is, so that then you take the leap, you work with me, you go into the course, because I believe that those are the best ways to get going that I'm aware of, right? But that said, all I really want to do in this video is help you understand the massive pot of gold, the proverbial massive pot of gold that we're sitting on, being people who just understand basic digital marketing as a whole, right? So let me talk about, actually I have some notes. So I'm going to start with my notes, if you don't mind, regarding what makes running an agency the best, quote, online business model. I don't even like saying online business, because it makes all kinds of people think it's easy, or that it's just click these 6 buttons and you'll make $1 million. Bull crap. But so the first thing is it forces you to learn the basics of marketing, which is taking a lead or a client or a potential customer, potential lead from a total stranger to then becoming a lead to then becoming a client or customer, and understanding that journey as a whole and all the different sort of like walls you have to break down in order for somebody to go from stranger to customer or client, right? And it basically understanding that either for your industry or as a whole and the principles that make that process up makes you an invaluable asset to just about every business, right? Nonetheless, if you niche down, which I talked about again in the previous video where I talked about that disparity, one of the biggest things that 20% who dominate have, one of the biggest things they possess is a holistic understanding of their niche. So which means they understand the industry. They're not just serving the industry, they either come from the industry or study it closely. And so then they can really apply these methods because then they understand the different things that make the industry up, right? And so when you can understand that process of taking total stranger to paying customer and how to do that, and then how to introduce paid methods on the front end of that, how to pay for advertising to speed up that process for a business, dude, you just become a machine. You just become an absolute machine for a business. And, you know, I know I'm maybe simplifying some things. Maybe you're thinking, Trey, you're making it sound a little too simple. But truly, when you boil all businesses down, all they are is two systems. They're client or customer attraction systems, and they are client or customer results systems. So how to attract and sell, and then how to get results, that the same results that were marketed to them when you sold them on the product or service. So it's just two systems. So for example, with my agency, my attraction system, we run various ads to get clients. Of course, I've built my brand here on YouTube and on other platforms to attract clients. And I also use Facebook groups to get clients. We use some freelance websites, but not that many. We've got a variety of methods. We're testing constantly new methods to get clients. So we have that system built. Then the client results system is myself and my team in our training and our workflows for once we onboard and deliver results to a client. So we have those two systems built. You could look at an e-commerce business, for example. You know, their attraction system is maybe, you know, working with influencers or running paid ads, paid traffic maybe on YouTube or on Facebook or on Instagram or whatever it is, to then build brand awareness, get people to buy into their vision of their brand, and maybe they attach some sort of a meaning behind their brand as well. So maybe, you know, 20% of profits go to, you know, the environment or saving elephants or something like that. Or, you know, maybe they have some sort of a meaningful reason why you could buy their stuff. Like I know of a brand called Fight the New Drug, which is an anti-pornography brand, and their revenue is amazing. They do incredibly well because people aren't just buying a hat, they're buying into a movement, right? So they build a movement, they build a brand, they build an attraction process, mixing in paid traffic where they need to. That's their client attraction. Their client results is their warehouses, their manufacturing. How do they actually source their product and how do they ship it to a client? What's included in that package, right? It's just two systems. Every business is two systems, right? And so for your industry, you want to understand those two systems, and then you become an absolute machine. If you can introduce into those two systems basic digital marketing principles like paid traffic, building sales funnels, these sorts of things, you really do truly become an absolute machine. And I know people who just know the rudimentary stuff when it comes to paid traffic, sales, funnel building, and they are seven-figure earners. There's people in my network, good friends of mine, who have simply applied these things well and have become incredibly wealthy. And that's not to say everybody can do it. I'm not guaranteeing that you could do it. What I am saying is that when you take the simple stuff and you apply it well, that's when you begin to see some serious shift. And I think there's a big sort of tinge in this industry. Maybe you look at other, you know, online influencers and the agency topic, and there's a large tinge towards the advanced. There's a large like focus on the advanced methods, you know, how to create, you know, what's the difference between a 1% and a 2% lookalike audience on Facebook advertising, and what's the conversion rate difference for an e-commerce store, like these really advanced niche subjects. There's a huge focus on that, and that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but I want you to be able to see that for just a small node in a larger system that is fairly simple, which again is just client attraction and client results. And those are the two systems that we're working on at any given time, right? So that's the first point. It forces you to be a good marketer, which frankly, if you're a good marketer, no matter the tool you're using, whether it's Facebook ads, whether it's, you know, we go back 50 years ago, it's billboard ads and maybe just now television ads, you know, you are a good marketer because you understand human nature and you understand how people behave and how they respond to different stimulus, right? Which really is what makes you a good marketer, not just an understanding of Facebook ads. And if you want a really good book on this as well, I recommend looking into David Ogilvy and his writings. He's got a book called Ogilvy on Advertising, which is basically, he was one of the first truly successful copywriting agencies in the United States of America. He's pretty much the reason why the company Ford, the Ford F-150, these popular American cars are around, is because he wrote the ads, the copy for the newspapers to sell cars with. And until he came around, cars were a luxury. He took cars from being a high-ticket luxury to then helping Ford position themselves as the everyday man's car, which then revolutionized the automobile industry. And it wouldn't have happened if it weren't for a guy who was pretty good with words. And that goes to say something about what marketing really is at the end of the day. So I definitely recommend looking into David Ogilvy. Next thing. Amongst the complexities of running an agency, there's a lot of little, I call them evergreen skills that you're going to learn, okay? Evergreen meaning they'll always be profitable skills. These will always be skills that no matter what, you're going to have a source of income as long as you have a good attitude and you don't burn your reputation by doing something stupid, right? You'll always have something to lean back on, which is a big part of why I'm taking so many what some people would call risks. I'm investing, tens of thousands of dollars into educational products to help me expand my understanding, investing in a bougie, apartment, all this stuff. People think it's risky. Frankly, I see no risk. I think I've got some amazing skill sets that I can lean back on if I ever needed to, and I'll be fine. And so I'm going to actually list these skills so that you can kind of understand where I'm coming from. The first one is sales. If you run your own agency, it's going to be a while before you have somebody else handle the sales for you, okay? You have to do your own for quite a while, get really good at it, understand how to sell your stuff, and then eventually you can maybe train somebody to do it for you and get them to a point where they're as good, if not better than you. But it's going to take a while, okay? You really want to start by, frankly, just want to start by doing it yourself, okay? Because it's just easier, you have more control, and it forces you to learn what works, what doesn't, so that when it comes time to train, you know what to train on. And sales is a classic skill. It's something, understanding how to speak one-on-one with a prospect, understand their false beliefs, how to break their false beliefs, how to read between the lines of what they're saying, and how to position yourself as an authority quickly in a conversation so that you have sort of control over the direction of the conversation. These sorts of things are skills that will forever benefit you. And in order to run an agency, you have to begin to develop a good sense of salesmanship, okay? The next one is human nature / marketing. And again, I talked about this, if we were to go back 50 years to television marketing, not much has changed between television marketing and now. There's scarcity, we give discounts, we appeal to certain markets in different demographics with different messaging and different branding, different styles of communication, right? And if you can just understand the basics of these things, again, David Ogilvy is a great place to go to start, and he references a lot of other authors too, so you could just go down a rabbit hole of his stuff for years and never uncover everything. If you just understand the basics of why humans do what they do, why they buy what they buy, ultimately, then you'll never go broke. You will always know how to sell things, and that's ultimately what is required in order to stay in a place of maintaining income. Even if you're applying for a job, even if you're applying for a high level, maybe multiple six-figure income job, knowing how to position yourself is the same as sales. It's the exact same thing. Knowing how to sell yourself or knowing how to sell a product is effectively the same thing. It's just about breaking false beliefs, positioning authority. It's about, social proof, these sorts of principles that you're going to want to look into and study, okay? The next one, relationship management. This is huge. As an agency owner, you're basically forced to maintain relationships, positive relationships with each and every single one of your clients. You never want to burn bridges. You never want to cut ties unnecessarily. That's just immature. It's brutal. It's stupid. I did it when I was first starting, and I completely regret it. And you have to get really good at being not horribly social. You don't have to go from introvert to extrovert. I think a lot of people think I'm an extrovert. Frankly, I am a huge introvert. If I spend time around people, I come home and I crash, right? And I've had to really force myself to fix that because, frankly, my income depends on it. And not only that, but it's also an incredibly healthy skill to develop, being able to work with, deal with, handle, inspire, motivate, and shift the beliefs in people. That's a huge Huge asset. I couldn't even tell you. That's basic leadership skills, right? Basic leadership skills are hugely fundamental in any business arena. And a great book I recommend on this topic would actually be How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Amazing read. Highly recommend it. So I've recommended 2 authors. We have David Ogilvy and then Dale Carnegie. Okay, 2 great people to go to. Classic authors. Never, their work's never going to die. It's always going to be relevant because it focuses on principles, not modern tools. It focuses on principles. And when you apply proper principles to these modern tools like Facebook advertising, YouTube, all these things, then you begin to see some real success. Okay, it's not the study of the tool. It's the study of the principle and the tool applied to it. Okay. Next is team leadership. So, of course, I talked about relationship management amongst clients, and that's an important element. But team leadership, how to actually build a team, a real team, not just contractors that you pay just to do work and then, the deal's done. Frankly, I think that's a totally stupid way to run your business. You really have to develop relationships with everybody that comes in your door. And you got to know how to build friendships and build genuine connections with these people outside of the work you do, right? Oh, I'm getting a call. I'm not sure from who. But it's a really important element, okay? You have to know how to, like for me right now, I have weekly meetings with my team. I assign them to different projects. And frankly, I've told them many times, look, if you want to start your own agency, I want to help you do that. And I'm totally ready to help you do that. And I want you to succeed beyond me even. And having a team environment where people feel motivated to grow, to invest into the brand, invest into the ideas that you're working with, and if they see the all-time outcome of what you're doing, the vision, then you have a really, really, really nice little asset there working for you. I hate to call it an asset because it's really not. It's really just genuine friendships and relationships. But if you're looking on paper, culture is one of the most important elements of any business. And when you're running an agency, eventually comes time for you to build a team. And if you're not good at instilling culture, principles, these sorts of things into your team, then they're just going to be robots. And you don't want robots, you want people, because people are creative and they problem solve and they force you to grow. When I come into my meetings, I don't say, here's what I need you guys to do. Every time, and literally, if you're watching this, Sam or Josh, you can confirm this. Every time I come into the meeting, I'm like, all right, guys, what can I do for you guys? Like, how can I help you? Like, what's going on? Let me, because they really are, it's not even up to me. My goal is to get clients in, but, they're serving the clients in a big way. And so my whole goal is just to kind of step back and let them do their job, and you have to stay humble that way. And the last thing is outsourcing / team building, which I think I already hit pretty much. I don't think I need to do that. I think point 4 and 5 are kind of the same point, so I'm just going to move on from that. And the last thing, besides evergreen skills, so the few things we've gone over is it forces you to learn, the front to back process of marketing, how to take a stranger to a paying customer or client, understanding client attraction, client results systems, understanding the evergreen skills that you learn. That's another thing that is really attractive about running an agency, sales, human nature / marketing, relationship management, team leadership. These sorts of things are super, super important. And the last point that I think makes an agency model incredibly attractive is that it's a business that you can actually put your name to and be proud of, and be genuinely proud of it. I remember back when I was doing, because there for a minute I did drop shipping, and some of you still follow me from when I was doing drop shipping, and I did okay. I did all right. Like I wasn't making anywhere near 6 figures, but that's still ahead of most people who do drop shipping when they frankly make 0. It's just the truth of the market. Very few educators actually teach real, working models. I actually have one client who is a drop shipping educator, and he's the only guy that I've ever run into that helps people actually keep their money. I know so many drop shippers who've done we did $5 million in sales last year, and they made like 10 grand. So it's just But anyway, I'm not gonna continue that rant. Let me go back to my notes here. Yeah, actual market impact and a business you can put your name to. So I remember when I was doing drop shipping, I was honestly ashamed of myself. Socially, I had a really good reputation with my friends and family, and when they started to kind of hear what I was doing, I was selling random Chinese products, and it was kind of sketchy because the shipping time was taking a while. They were I don't really know how I feel about that, and I honestly I didn't really know how I felt about it either, but I wanted to be able to own it, and I tried to figure out ways, and I hated that. I honestly hated that. It really hurt like a lot of my like social life, to be honest with you, and it was a hard thing to get over. And so I cut that cold turkey at one point. I was just done with that, and that was a good while before I figured out, I could be doing what I'm doing today. And now today, I am incredibly, incredibly proud of what I've built. I don't think, I wouldn't want to be doing anything else with my life. And I love what I do, and I absolutely love taking on new clients. I love running into problems with them so we can figure it out together. I love it when we say we're going to get a certain result and we get half that, and we're like, frick, we got to figure that out. Like, it's a real problem that we're solving for people, and I love every piece of the pie. I love everything that comes with it because it's forcing me to grow as a man. It's forcing me to have more discipline and character and really important things that allow me to be a better person, because my goal is not just to grow a business just to grow a business. If you know me, and maybe you know me in real life, you know that really I'm just trying to grow as a person. I'm trying to grow spiritually, emotionally, intellectually. I'm trying to become a better man, right? And I think when you have a business that you can put your name to and be proud of, and one that inspires you and gets you up in the morning, that's when you begin to make serious amounts of money. That's when I moved from, making like $5 or $6 grand a month to blowing past 10 grand, blowing past 20, blowing past 30, coming up now on 50, and I want to be doing, 83,000 a month in 2020, which then means I'm a 7-figure earner, right? And so it's a really important distinction. When you're running a business that you just aren't proud of, it really affects the way that not only you run the business, but also the way you view yourself. And your self-image is one of the most important things that you have to just coddle and be careful about and build structure, build a foundation around. Otherwise, you're not going to move any mountains in business. You're not going to do well in life, nonetheless in business, okay? And so, it's important that you're doing something that you're proud of and that you can put your name to and say, yes, my name is Trey William James Cockrum. I am a marketer, and that to me, to hear that said, and to be able to look back at the journey and how far I've come, it's a very satisfying thing. It's incredibly satisfying. And so I want other people to experience that. I want other people to build a business, an online business. I hate the phrase online business because, again, like I said earlier, it just implies like an easy 20-step system or some BS that just scams people all day, because it's really not a 20-step system. There's a lot you have to learn, and that's why I consider myself one of the more honest people in this market. It's not easy. It's going to be a process, and I want to help you with that process. I want to speed up that process for you, but it's still going to be a process, right? But anyway, I had a point that I was trying to make, and I think I just went on a tangent and totally forgot it. So I'm just going to be cool with that. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. I hope it was valuable to you. That is why running an agency is inarguably one of the best models for making money online or starting a business that I'm aware of. And I think that it will not only grow your bank account, but it will grow you. And if you want to grow both, as I do as well, then I would recommend starting, okay? And if you're interested in starting in the right way, we've got the course down below. There's hours and hours of content. I've literally had over 50 coaching students at this. I think over 50 coaching students, and we've recorded all of the calls from all of those students, and they're all in the course. You can watch all of them. That includes people who are making $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month with my material, and you can see how they're doing that, okay? Which is alone could be its own course, but no, I'm going to build on top of that foundation and make an actual step-by-step program. Week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, we have first in week 1, we have the foundations. Week 2 is mindset training. We're going to completely revamp the way you see yourself, the way you see the world, and the way you see money. The 3 most important elements of vision in order to become a successful entrepreneur. Week 3 is more technical, how to actually build the funnels, do more technical stuff, how to understand Facebook ads, all this stuff, how to build your team, stuff like that. And week 4 is kind of undecided, right? Currently, as of the upload date on this video, week 1 is finished, week 2 and 3 are in development, and week 4, again, is kind of up in the air. We're trying to figure out what to do with that. And that's why the cost of the program is only $1,000 as opposed to the final price tag of $2,000, okay? Keep in mind, I've spent literally hundreds of hours developing this thing because I have spent hundreds of hours on coaching calls. So that alone could be its own program. I'm stupid to not sell this for like 5, 6, 7 grand because I've spent the past year and a half of my life educating on this stuff and building it myself. So hopefully it's valuable to you. I recommend hopping in before the price doubles. Not sure when it will happen. We'll finish up the course for you. Get in there, get in the mastermind, meet all my successful students, meet all the people in there who are running real agencies with real clients, making real impact in their local or their digital market. and I'll hopefully see you in there. So thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.